Hi everybody, in this lesson we will learn how to convert recurring decimals to fractions. So in previous lessons I taught you how to convert regular decimals to fractions. Just an example, 0.113 becomes 113 over 1,000 and 0.225 becomes 225 over 1,000, and this can be simplified, and it should be simplified to 9 over 40, etc., etc. All these examples we've already seen in previous lessons, but today we're dealing with recurring decimals. So we're going to learn how to convert these with one digit which is recurring, and these as well with two digits which are recurring, and also three digits, which are recurring decimals. And we'll also learn how to convert these, where only one digit, the last one, is recurring, and the others are not. So let's start with 0.2. Well, the trick is very simple. All those who have one digit after the decimal point becomes 0.222 in this example becomes something over 9. So how do you know what is the something? By the digit itself. In this case, 0.2 becomes 2 over 9. 0.3 is 3 over 9, which can be simplified and should be simplified to 1/3 or 1 over 3. 0.7, well, is obviously 7 over 9. And 0.8 becomes 8 over 9. This is for one digit, and it applies to all the one digits which are recurring. So 0.1, when the 1 is recurring, it's 1 over 9. And 0.4 is 4 over 9, etc. Now all the ones which are with two digits, such as this one, 0.23, when the 23 is recurring, not just the 2, not just the 3, the trick is similar. It's this number over 99. So 23 over 99. And for 36, again, it's something over 99. How do you know what that something is? By the two digits which are recurring. So 36 over 99, which should be simplified by dividing it by 9. 36 divided by 9 is 4, and 99 divided by 9 is 11. 0.81, where the 81 is recurring, is 81 over 99, which should be simplified again by dividing it by 9. 9 over 11, that's the answer. 0.94, where the 94 is recurring, is 94 over 99. It's very simple. Well, you guessed it right. If it's a three-digit number which is recurring, such as this one, 0.243, is the number over 999. If it can be simplified, then it should be simplified. So in this case, we'll divide it by 27 and we'll get 9 over 37. 0.347 is 347 over 999. 0.813 is 813 over 999, which should be simplified by dividing it by 3. So it's 271 over 333. 0.937, when the 9, 3, and 7 are recurring, is 937 over 999. As you can see, it's very, very simple. But what do you do in these cases? 0.2, and then the 3. Only the 3 is recurring. And 0.37, and only the 7 is recurring. 0.81, as opposed to the 0.81, where these two digits, the 8 and 1, are recurring. 0.81, 81, 81. In this case, only the 1 is recurring. We'll see how to deal with it. And 0.95, where only the 5 is recurring. How do you solve it? How do you simplify it? How do you convert it to a simple fraction? Let's see. Let's start with the first one, 0.23. So what we'll do is we'll split it into two decimals. One is 0.20, which is the same, and 0.03, where 3 is recurring. It's the same as saying 0.23, where the 3 is recurring. The same thing. Now we all know that 0.20 is 0.2. So this remains the same. And we all know that 0.2 is 2 over 10, which is 1 over 5. The recurring decimal remains the same. Now we'll write it in the following way, and we'll use a trick here. We'll multiply this recurring decimal by 10 and divide it by 10. As you know, if you multiply a number by another number and divide it by the same number, the original stays the same. So in this case, the 0.03 is multiplied by 10 and divided by 10, like multiplying it by 1. We don't change anything. Its value doesn't change. So why do we do that? Let's see why. 1 over 5 stays the same. And now we'll multiply this one by 10. And for that, as you know, we need to move the decimal point one step to the right, so it becomes 0.3. But we still need to divide it by 10 if we don't want to change the value of this number, and we don't. Now, let's write it a little bit differently. 1 over 5 plus 1 over 10 times 0.3, where the 3 is recurring. 1 over 5 plus 1 over 10, 1/10 of, and now we'll use another trick. In the beginning of the lesson, and in previous lessons, we mentioned that 0.3, where the 3 is recurring, is actually 1 over 3, 1/3. So we can replace this 0.3 recurring with 1/3 here. And now we suddenly have a sum of one fraction, one simple fraction, simplified fraction, with a multiplication of two simplified fractions. No more decimals, no more recurring. It's a simple exercise which we can solve easily. 1/5. 1 times 1 is 1, and 3 times 10 is 30. So we get 30 in the denominator and 7 here in the numerator, and that equals 7 over 30. So 0.23, and only the 3 is recurring, equals 7 over 30. As you can see, it's very simple. Let's see another example. 0.37, and only the 7 is recurring. So we write 0.30 plus 0.07, only the 7 is recurring, and 0.30 is 0.3, it's the same, and 0.3 is 3 over 10, and the 0.07 recurring remains the same. And we write 3 over 10, And we'll use the same trick from before. We'll multiply it by 10 and divide it by 10. We get 3 over 10, and this one again, the decimal point moves one step to the one digit to the right. So we get 0.7. 0.07 times 10 is 0 times 0.7 recurring, divided by 10. 3 over 10 plus 1 over 10 times 0.7 recurring. And again, we'll use what we learned in the beginning of this lesson, that 0.7 recurring is actually 7 over 9, 7 ninths. And again, we have a sum of one simplified fraction and the multiplication of two others. Very easy to calculate it. It's eventually 34 over 90, which can be simplified and should be simplified to 17 over 45. We divide the 34 by 2 and the 90 by 2. Very simple. So 0.37, where only the 7 is recurring, equals 17 over 45. Let's see another example. 0.81, and only the 1 is recurring. 0.80, I think you got the point by now, but I'll show this example anyway. 0.8, 8 over 10. 8 over 10 is actually 4 over 5. You divide the 8 by 2 and the 10 by 2, you get 4 over 5, 4/5. And this equals 4 over 5. And again, we do the trick of multiplying it by 10 and dividing it by 10. And again, 0.01, where the 1 is recurring, becomes 0.1 recurring, divided by 10, which is 4 over 5 plus 1 over 10 times 0.1. And again, we'll use the trick because we already know that 0.1 recurring is actually 1/9, 1 over 9. And this is very easy to solve. It becomes 73 over 90. It cannot be simplified further. So 0.81, where 1 is recurring, equals 73 over 90. 0.95, or the 5, only the 5 is recurring, same concept. 9 over 10 plus 0.05. Multiplied by 10 and divided by 10. And we get 9 over 10 plus 1 over 10 times, and we use the trick again. 0.5 recurring is actually 5 over 9. And we get 86, eventually 86 over 90. We divide them both by 2, and we get 43 over 45. So 0.95 recurring is 43 over 45. See you in the next lesson.